All right, what do we got?
I guess just starting off, I mean, what have you seen this spring from your position group, and so especially some of the younger receivers that you're developing?
Well, I think the spring's a great time for individual player development growth. The guys are working really hard. Again, I've seen individual growth. I've seen growth as a unit. And not only on the field, they're doing a great job. In the meeting room, doing a great job in strength training. You see, growth and development physically. Again, I think it's been a tremendous spring. I'm really excited about the players and the direction that we're heading. And again, now, we get into a new phase here coming up and another opportunity to get better.
When you have so many young guys, both in terms of freshmen coming back from last year and also new players coming in, just as a coach, what's the biggest thing that you think is important for them to take that next step and really develop and break into the depth chart?
Well, I think realistically, what you want to look at is you really want to think about it like you really get one opportunity to do things correctly. One opportunity to train a player from a fundamental standpoint, a detail standpoint, a technique standpoint. And when you get them as a young player, it's a tremendous opportunity. And if you can do it right and the player buys in and you get the things done the way you want to get them done, I think you just create a little bit bigger window for the player to get better a little bit faster. And then, like anything, when you experience some success as a young player, the drives there, the things that you really want to see out of them, they're a little more apparent when they have a little bit of success. So these guys have done a great job. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more from a work ethic standpoint, from a chop standpoint, as we say, and they've done a great job. So it's a lot of fun for a coach. I love young players. I love guys who are hungry to be better, hungry to learn, hungry to do things the right way. So for me, it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy being out there.
What does Dymere Miller add to your room?
Well, I think experience. Anytime you're looking at a player, regardless of level, you love guys that have, competitive production, and he has a ton of that. He's got a really, really competitive nature. He attacks the ball, and he's really good in the meeting room. Maturity level's fantastic. So I'm just really excited to add him, and he's been a great fit. The chemistry with the other players is fantastic. So been a lot of fun, and again, this age we're in, it is what it is. So really excited to get a guy, not only I think of his caliber as a player, but I also think his caliber as a person is going to help us be a better team.
With Jaquay Jackson last year, Miller you just mentioned, and Brantley, these guys came from smaller schools. What's the process like getting them up to speed for Big Ten play?
Well, again, I think it's a little bit different when you look at some of the players that have come in. You have college film, and again, albeit a smaller level or a different level, but you have competitive snaps. You can watch them in competitive situations, and you can see them strain. You can see them have success, make plays. So I do think there's a little bit of an advantage in terms of bringing those guys in. And then really from them athletically and competitively, it's getting them up normal, the speed of the day, how you practice, what we do. They've been really good in the meeting room. They're all pretty quick studies. They've learned what we do. They've bought into how we do it. So I think it's just you just have a little bit faster curve with those guys, and then you really count on them being able to do the things that they've done successfully other places here, within the scheme that we're going to run, and they've done a great job.
Coach Shiano has mentioned Ben Black as a guy who's really stood out this spring. I guess what have you seen from your perspective and kind of the way he's adjusted so far?
Yeah, I think both freshmen. They've done a great job, and kind of here we just kind of throw them in, and it doesn't really bother me. I'm not worried about coaching young players, and he plays fast. Obviously, he was a track guy in high school, and in the competitive situations that he's had and the opportunities to make the plays, he's made a ton of them. And again, there's a ton of growth. His ability to get better is endless. And then the same thing with KJ Duff. He's really done the same thing. A lot of the things that I think we felt like we saw when we evaluated those players, I think they are what they are. They've come in here and they've shown that they can compete at this level, and they do a really good job of trying to listen and pay attention and learn the fundamentals and techniques, and you just kind of bring them along as quickly as you can. And then, like I said, if you have a little bit of success, it's always just a little bit easier, because it's more fun to be successful.
How beneficial do you think it is now for the guys coming back, second year, working under you, working under Coach Shiraka, and just having that continuity? How beneficial do you think that is?
Oh, I think it's everything. When you have a situation where the players have experience, continuity, the knowledge of the system, you go from, kind of what do I do and kind of how do I do it to, those things become instinct. And now you're in a situation where, okay, how are we going to coach the top of this route? How are we going to coach versus this coverage? There's levels to each thing as you teach and you progress through the training of a player. And I think that those guys have gone to the next level. And again, it's a lot of fun as a coach, because you see them get better, you see them take the competitive reps and have success in games. And now as they get to take a deep breath and come back in spring, you really get a chance to show what they can do with that foundation being built already. And now you just got to build on it and try to do everything you can to make them the very best player that they can be, at this time. Again, they all have a high ceiling. They're all going to be better players when we line up in September than they are today.
How do you feel about the depth of your room? How many players you have that can, tomorrow you guys had a Big Ten game, would be able to come in and contribute?
Yeah, I think the depth's, much improved considerably. I feel great about being able to play multiple people and again, we're a long way from a game, but, I feel like the depth in the room is much improved and again, I don't, I don't have a lot of issues with younger players. So whether it was Ian Strong last year playing, whether it was Jaquay coming in and playing as a new player, I think you go out and you practice every day and at the end of the day, you get what you earn here. And that's a player, that's a coach, that's everybody in this program. You better show up to work and earn what you get, and if they earn it, then hey, let's go play.
Final question.
Christian Dremel had a nice season last year. What's the next step for him?
Well, I think, when you're in his situation, and he certainly made a lot of plays for us and did a lot of really good things, now do you take the next step? And he certainly has. Again, he's a really, really competitive guy. His work ethic is unmatched. His mental and physical toughness are, I think, elite. And now, he gets a little bit of a leadership role. He gets a little bit of a kind of in the room to be the guy who's done the most. And that can be an impactful role if you embrace it, and he has. I like being around him. I like coaching him. You know exactly what you're going to get. His teammates know exactly what you're going to get. And again, for me, it's exciting when you have a player like that. I look for him to take the next step and continue to grow and be better for us.
Thanks, Coach.